Matt Ducey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just to follow on from that member, talking about political interference, independence and accountability. And I think it is right that the Minister is involved with the domain reports and the synthesis reports for that mere fact of accountability. And I would point out, Mr. Speaker, in clause 18, the regulations 3, that says before recommending the making of regulations under subsection 1, the Minister must consult the government statistician, the Commissioner, the public, the iwi authorities and local authorities. So there is consultation, Mr. Speaker, there is accountability, and with that clause in there, I think it does exactly that. It stops that political interference. It means the Minister has to go through that consultation to speak with government statistician, the Commissioner, the public especially. So the public will be involved in the domains, and I think that very much answers that question around political interference, because I can understand the calls for independence, but equally what we want is accountability. And that's why under this government the ministers will stand up and take accountability. Mr. Speaker, I also draw reference to clause 15 about reports being fair and accurate. One thing that was not discussed in the previous stage, Mr. Speaker, around purpose, is that the purpose of this bill, yes, we are reporting on domains every 6 months and a synthesis report, I think every 3 years, but underneath that is trust and confidence. And what this bill is doing, and through clause 15, we need to ensure that the public has trust and confidence in our environmental reporting. At the moment, they quite rightly probably have very little trust and confidence. We're hardly on a par with other OECD countries, and yet again, it takes a national government to stand up in the environmental space and deliver. So with the trust and confidence, Mr. Speaker, I think the public is sick of hearing half-truths and misinformation. We know that when we had the experience of the Green Party putting out around our primary industries having a high carbon emission rate.
Member will resume his seat. We're not having a good night tonight. The member is making a speech which may be relevant at second reading. We're now debating part 2 as reported from the Select Committee, and I want the member to come back as to why or why not this particular part meets the objectives which the House has accepted at second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just one final clause I'd like to refer to, Mr. Speaker, around clause 13, the roles of the Secretary and Government Statistician. In 3, it's about the statistician understanding and being satisfied that best practice principles are at play here, Mr. Speaker. And that's because we need to ensure that we have data quality. And in the sense of measuring the reports of the domain reports, we need to ensure that the quality of the data is rigour and has valour. So that is why, Mr. Speaker, happy to support this bill.